Right, I'm not going to try any cool segues because Addison's segue
Going
game
from
was so good last week.
Ozark to Mark.
Oh, there we go.
Well, you could have gone back to the framing, because what happens in murder mysteries?
There we go. Tell you what else.
Cinematography.
Like you literally just gave me the segue and I kind of forgot it instantly.
Framing. He's going to frame you for murder,
So,
Sam.
what else has good framing? Something
people.
Mark watched.
Okay, so I watched Death on the Nile, which is the new continuation almost on Murder on the Orient Express that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
It follows the Agatha Christie series of books. This came out, I think it came out on the 11th, so 2 weeks ago, 11th of Feb, I think. So the basic setup is that someone is murdered. Murder mystery, well done.
Oh, shit.
What? Spoilers.
It's on a
Unless
luxury
you're going to tell me it
cruise.
happens on the Nile.
Yeah, luxury cruise on the Nile. There's been a death on the Nile. Obviously, everyone is a suspect, and you spend the whole entire film deducing who the murderer was.
Yeah.
Am I a suspect?
Kind of just... You could be a suspect.
Oh, that's not good, is it?
Where were you on the evening of 1935 or wherever it was set? I don't know.
1935.
Oh, Poirot, that was something. 1935.
Did you guys see Murder on the Orient Express that came out?
Yeah.
Didn't
No.
actually.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
it-
right.
Branagh.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh is the director as well as playing Poirot.
Yeah, so me and Billy watched it in cinema because it was our sort of thing. But because we were quite ignorant and had never read or seen anything about that, we were actually quite disappointed by the ending twist.
Yeah, the ending twist
Which
is
is
really
obviously
mad.
this super famous classic thing. But we went, oh, it's a bit out of nowhere, wasn't it?
I think that's the thing. I went into Murder on the Orient Express knowing the twist.
Yeah,
Whereas
see,
I-
we had no idea.
I didn't for
just
Death on
didn't
the
know.
Nile. And I think...
Okay.
I don't know whether I enjoyed Death on the Nile more because it was just generally a better film and the setups were better, or whether it's because I didn't know who the perpetrator was going to be at the end. I think that's where it's a bit confusing sometimes. It's about, I think it's 2 hours, 7 minutes, and I found myself actually being captivated pretty much the whole time. The only thing that kind of jarred me a little bit when you talk about kind of cinematography and everything is right at the start. You've got the Pyramids of Giza, and you can kind of see where the green screen starts, and it's a bit jarring.
Yeah.
And there's a few
That
shots
damn
they
green
use
screen.
as well where it's like they're spinning around the boat, and it's just a bit much sometimes. But other than that, the film is, I think, really good. There is actually also a set piece at the start as well where you find out why Poirot's got the scar and has the moustache to cover it.
Oh, right.
But it's kind of like a
All right.
quite lengthy, unnecessary, and just feels a bit like Kenneth Branagh sucking himself off. Like he's that kind
Hey,
of like.
If we could.
fuck's sake. So without
Especially with that
trying to,
moustache.
I would personally recommend if you enjoy murder mysteries and you haven't read the book, or even if you have read the book, there's some changes in there that make it kind of fun for people that
Have you
have
read the
read.
book?
I read the book, and there is some differences in terms of
You've read a
they've
book?
kind of they've streamlined characters, but they've also changed the roles that they would have had in the book as well, because the book's a bit more like complex, whereas the film's kind of straightforward. These are the characters.
Right, okay.
So if you enjoy that, I'd say go into that. So for me, I actually recently have been playing a game called Overboard, which kind of plays into this enjoyment of murder mysteries.
I'm guessing it's based on a
So
boat.
it is also, it's also on a boat. It's a nice little...
Smash.
So the difference here is that in Overboard, it's a whodunit, but you're the killer.
Okay.
So you've
That's cool.
pushed,
You've
you've
got to
pushed
figure out who
your...
you are. Find one mirror.
Who's the murderer?
Was it me? What?
I found a bloody knife in my bag.
I can't believe I killed them.
So this is the game set in July 1935. You're married to the wealthy Malcolm Valence, whose fortune actually has just been wiped out from really bad investments.
Okay.
So your name is, I think, Veronica.
It was Bitcoin, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bitcoin at the time. You get on a boat called the SS Hook, and you're off for a new life in America. But you have other plans. So you go up to the top deck. You tell him, look at these dolphins, and then you push him off.
Ooh.
And then the rest, you've then
Survived
got
that.
you've then got 8 hours, like 8 hours real time, to
that's
convince everyone else on the boat that it wasn't you,
Oh shit.
and frame other people.
Okay.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
And I thought the whole thing was really cool for that, just alone. But then there's something that really surprised me is I played it through the first time, I failed, and then I wake up and you've woken up, but you remember what the last playthrough was.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
it's kind of borderline like
Deathloop.
Groundhog. Yeah, it's
12
like
minutes.
Groundhog.
Yeah,
12 minutes was the one I said. Yeah, 12 minutes without the incest, basically.
Fucking hell, I still haven't played that game, but now I want to.
Oh, for God's sake.
And I thought that kind of, I was like, what's the replayability of this game going to be? I didn't really know what it was like. Maybe you just finish it the once, you do it really well, and that's it. But like, there is a reason to play through constantly now.
So this is an indie game, right? This isn't a AAA game. I've never.
No,
heard
this
of
is an indie game. So this came
this
out.
Yeah.
This came out in June 2021
Oh, right.
So it's not
on
new.
Steam, the Switch for I think it's like £11.40, and it came out on the App Store as
shit.
well for £5. So if you want to
wow,
play it
cool.
cheap, you can do it on the phone.
I'll play
Overboard,
this.
yeah.
That's buying this right now.
But basically every character on the boat has some sort of story that would allow you to tie them to the murder.
That's
But
cool.
you've just got to spend enough time like kind of working out where you can capture various things from them and then kind of set them up.
Yeah.
And what I've realised is from every playthrough that I've done so far, which they're about 15 minutes kind of playthrough, no matter how much you try and keep out of everyone's way, the last hour you get called into the restaurant and you've all got to kind of say, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So then you've got to try and go, oh no, this person did it. This person.
It was Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, it was
He's got a
kind of
dolphin
mustard
in
with
his room. He did it.
the kind of the dialogue choices are Telltale style-esque, but without the timer.
Right.
So you kind of get
Yeah.
3 options generally, 3 or 4 options, and you
Like
just
Mass
choose which
Effect.
one you think's best.
I've been playing Mass Effect recently.
But I think the thing that annoys me,
It's on his mind.
I don't know how you guys find it with like the Telltales and stuff. Sometimes you make a mistake, and you're like, oh shit, and then that's it. Your playthrough's now set.
Is
Whereas
it
with
something?
this,
Sometimes, like
I
you
don't
say
reverse.
something, you press something that's like totally different to what you actually say.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
you
like
say
in
like,
LA
oh yeah,
Noire.
good idea, and then it's like, fuck you, you fucking dick. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I
what?
I think
didn't
there's
wanna
one
say
in
that.
The Wolf Among Us, and it is something like, give him a glass. And
You
you don't
smash
give
him
him
the
a glass,
glass
you
over his
fucking
head.
glass him in the head.
There's one in Mass Effect 2, I think, where I picked like the
I know the exact
antagonist
one you mean.
Yeah, they kicked him out of a fucking window. I was like,
It's like,
whoa!
yeah.
It's like, fucking hell, Shepard. Christ.
I was thinking like LA Noire as well, where you like doubt, and then it's all of a sudden you're just like screaming at him. It's like, what?
I know you fucking did it, you murderer.
But with
Didn't
this,
they,
you
didn't
can.
they rename they renamed what their options were because they were so like
I think they
different to
did,
how
yeah.
people reacted.
Yeah, like because they did a bunch of remasters, didn't they, for that game?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so with this, I think like when you get to an end of kind of a section where you're speaking, you can actually reverse. If you've made a
Okay.
mistake there, you don't have to then
Oh,
play the
that's
rest of
cool.
the game. And also, the 8 hours is across kind of each playthrough you do. So I've played it through kind of, I think 6 times now,
So is it
and it's
actually
now
8
down
hours?
to it's 8 hours
real
in
life?
terms of real life to make sure you get away with it. But you keep failing until you work out kind of the reasoning. I did think it was going to get a bit boring, and you do occasionally get to the same dialogue options, but you can skip through them. So it
Yeah.
kind of comes up with a little button to the side you can click, and it just fast forwards through the dialogue you've already done, and then you can choose dialogue you haven't.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't really heard of a kind of like proper like real time mechanic like that since the only thing I can think of is like Dead Rising. I think it was the first one that had like a
yeah.
real time mechanic. I hated it.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
I love
yeah.
Dead Rising.
Yeah, some people loved it.
The timer, I hated the timer as well.
Oh, I fucking hated it. Yeah.
Oh,
But
we're all about
maybe
timers this week. I knew I should have talked about 24.
yeah, switch it quick. You could do it.
I didn't know what to really expect with this, but it really did kind of blow me away. It's quite a simple game. Like, if you look at the art style, it's just kind of generic animation with dialogue choices that aren't spoken word. they kind of just read them off the screen. But it really enjoyed it. And I also liked as well that there's a section in there's a chapel in there. If you go into the chapel, you talk to God, and God is essentially giving you little pointers, but like he's taking the piss out of you as he's doing it. But it's like almost like a little cheat sheet, but he's like, okay, yeah, come on, you got to be better than that. Yeah, really enjoyed it. I think it filled that gap that 12 minutes had,
Yeah, it does sound cool.
but was a lot better than 12 minutes.
It was also 8 hours, not 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 minutes was a really quick game, actually.
It's
on
game.
Switch, Steam, or play it on the iPhone, or Google, or whatever you've got. Yeah, worth it.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yeah, I actually might give that a go. So it's pretty cool to see a murder mystery where you play as the predator and not the prey.
I was gonna do soundbite before we moved on.
Sorry. Go on then, Matt.
Fuck's sake.
This is turning into some fucking serious stuff. There could be a murder in this. Sorry, am I saying murder wrong? I'll say it like an English person. Murder. Like the Queen. Murder.
Who is that? I recognise
Lemmy.
Lemmy, yeah.
It's pretty funny.
He's like a Twitch streamer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that was so loud.
Fucking loud. I didn't test it beforehand.
I thought someone was in my room. I turned around.
I feel like my ears have been murdered after that.
Just Lemmy standing behind you.
Oh my god, Lemmy.